Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I am Kenny G.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about K-State's 24-21 loss to Iowa State in Ireland. And we're going to talk about kind of why it happened and talk about what we think can be fixed. Before we do that, though, make sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, consider joining the channel as well. Let's get right into it, Kenny. Your initial thoughts. You and I watched the game together. In fact, you and I saw each other every single day this weekend. Friday was a big day for you. Saw each other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Kenny. It was a good time, even though K-State lost.
Yeah, big event. Friday was my 10-year anniversary with my wife, and got to celebrate by watching the Cats lose, which is something that you don't really – you hate to see it, man. I mean, uh, despite K-State losing, it was a pretty good weekend. Got to see family, friends, got to have really good food and drink over the weekend. But let's get into it, Steve. For K-State to start their season off with a loss against a rival conference game, the way that they lost, it's embarrassing. A lot of people have watched this show. They've seen, me rant and rave about this being the year of K-State. Well, that went right out the window game one. I don't understand why K-State always seems to perform under expectations when the pressure's on. It always just seems like K-State could walk in, be the favorite, and then just underperform. And it's extremely frustrating as a K-State fan. But when you're sitting here watching the games, you're watching with a lot of intention and you're analyzing everything. You actually see how good we are. I mean, you can see it, the moments of brilliance. But for whatever reason, it doesn't even matter if K-State's got the better athletes. It doesn't matter if they've got the better game plan. The execution just never, ever falls in the favor of K-State. Mistakes, failed execution, and just getting out coached. It's just a multitude of things that are just extremely irritating as a fan, and just irritating like even if you're just a football fan watching, you're like, what, how is it that this team just keeps shooting themselves in the foot time in and time again? And it always happens during a game that involves horrible weather conditions. For whatever reason, K-State is always on the wrong side of the bounce when it involves horrible weather conditions. We just never, ever get to see K-State be on the right side of, these games that end up, hurting a player, or the ball just slips out, or bounces the wrong way. Now, to be fair, Iowa State also had some issues, but they were able to capitalize more on our mistakes than K-State was able to capitalize on their mistakes. And I'm sure we're going to get into it, Steve. But this is a brutal loss, man. I don't think I'm over it yet. I'm still not over it. It's something that, like, we've been building up to for the last, I don't know, almost a full year now. And I know I've been hyping this season up for K-State since last year, saying, like, this is the year. This is the year. And then for it to just basically blow up in my face, I know that I know I'm just a fan, and it probably affects the coaches and the players way more. But when you're a fan that invests the time and the energy to, like, and the excitement behind it, it just wears you down. It takes the air out of your balloon, when they lose like this. And I know, Steve. I know it hurts you too, being a K State alum. You know, you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
It's frustrating as heck, dude. I sat in my car driving to work today with the music off, just thinking about the game, just being pissed off, frustrated, trying to come up with what I was gonna say because like there's so much that I could say. Um, Here's what I'm gonna start off with. It's unacceptable the way K State played. Everything that I was worried about, most of the things I was worried about, came to fruition. Like the new offensive linemen, like almost everyone is brand new this year. The corners and the new safeties not being able to cover guys because Rocco Becht is a good quarterback. It really feels like K State has a mental block when they play Iowa State, kind of similar to what KU does when they play K State. You know what I mean? Like KU always seems to like not make the right plays at the right time or turn it over at the wrong time. I mean, I think back to a couple years ago, Will Howard throws I think K State's down, 27-14, and he throws a pass that should have been intercepted and ran back for a touchdown. The guy drops it, and K State comes back to win that game 29-27. I think back last year, KU's returner catches the ball and then goes out of bounds, and then K State scores, or they throw an interception, or Jalen Daniels fumbles at the end of the game, and K State gets it back and kicks a game-winning field goal. Like KU 100% has a mental block when they play K State, and if you look at how K State has played against Iowa State, specifically the last 6 years, K State's 1-5, and they should be 0-6. I mean, had Higgins not dropped a fourth down catch in K State's territory at the end of the game in 2022, K State not only doesn't win a Big 12 championship game, they don't even play for one had he caught that, because they'd be in K State territory and they would kick the field goal and win the game. K State would be 0-6. Like, it really feels like, I don't know what it is. K State just has a mental block. They always play terrible against Iowa State, but give Iowa State credit. I mean, Matt Campbell has played for more Big 12 titles than Chris Kleiman has. You could definitely tell which of these teams won 11 games a year ago. Iowa State made every single play in the second half that you could make. I mean, stopping K-State in fourth down multiple times, converting on all of their fourth downs. I mean, they have a 3-point lead at the end of the game with almost 7 minutes left, and they don't give K-State a single chance to get the ball back. Like, they made every single play. And my problem also comes to coaching. We talk about how all the time players feed off their coaches. I don't feel like Chris Kleiman circled this game enough. I don't think he talked about the importance of this game enough. Everyone is talking about how like the players seemed really upbeat after the game. I get that, there's 11 games left. You shouldn't get down after one loss. This is a big loss. I mean, you cannot lose to a conference rival. Every single time you lose, you put yourself behind the 8 ball. Think back last year. I mean, there were 4 teams tied at 7-2. Only 2 of them got to the Big 12 championship game. So K-State really has zero margin for error the rest of the season. I mean, they cannot lose a single game if they want to go to Arlington. I think we honestly need to reevaluate where we think K-State's going to go. I mean, I'm panicking. I don't know about you, dude. Is this a time to panic if you're K-State or you're a K-State fan? Because I really feel like, even though it's only one game into the season, it's not even September yet, I feel like K-State fans definitely need to panic and start worrying about the rest of the season.
I mean, yeah, you just look at the comment section right now, man. I mean, like the people are popping off. I mean, and rightfully so. They Iowa State fans and other team fans that saw K-State as the favorite to win the Big 12. I mean, they're going to be coming in and lighting up all these K-State podcasts, man, because they watch the game just like we did. And this is my point exactly. You talked about KU, having a mental block against K-State, but KU's never been the favorite to beat K-State when they were getting those close games. K-State losing to Iowa State, or even other games in the Big 12 conference, they lose these games while being the favorite. I'm looking at BYU, I'm looking at Houston, and it's amazing because in most of the facets of the football game, like total yards, yards per play, third down conversions, first downs. Like usually K State is like getting they're like excelling in those stats. And then they still lose the game. Why? Because of mistakes, because of turnovers, penalties, whatever the case is. And that's just what blows my mind is that you've got a team that has so much talent, but just cannot execute when it matters the most. And we choke under pressure. I don't know if it's, I really don't know what's the reasoning for this. And it really, we could really dig deep into this, Steve. But I think one of the biggest problems is how we have utilized Avery Johnson. Um, and I think the biggest problem for the reason why we've underutilized him is because we lost Colin Klein. I think that the issues from last year to this year is because we lost Colin Klein. He would have been the perfect OC for Avery Johnson, the way that Avery Johnson ought to play, the way that we expected him to play, the way that he played when we went against Texas Tech. Oh yeah, by the way, we had Colin Klein as the OC, and lo and behold, Avery Johnson gets 5 touchdowns his freshman year against Texas Tech team as a freshman. Like it. Say what you want about Connor Riley. Say what you want about Matt Wells. I do not believe they know how to utilize Avery Johnson the way he ought to be utilized.
I agree.
And I think Colin Klein, being a quarterback for K-State who was a Heisman Trophy candidate, should have won, was able to he's basically what Avery should be. And so what a perfect OC to be able to get, as a quarterback, that you kind of like emulate the same kind of style, but then he leaves after the first season that you show up to campus, and now you're handing off to DJ, which, by the way, don't disagree with that move. But again, you have Avery Johnson, who, how many times did he run? He ran
8.
8 times. He should be running 15 minimum. He should be getting 15 minimum design runs. I would even say expect 20. There's no reason why we lost. K-State loses its number one running back before we even get to run an offensive play. And at that point, you have to go, okay, the rushing offense needs to be put on Avery's back. Now, I know we got Joe Jackson. He did a fantastic job. I love the guy.
Despite the fumble, he did play very well. The fumble really sucks, but it happens.
Yeah, it happened. They were fumbling it left and right. It's a wet game, but again, there
was 4 fumbles in the whole game.
Same amount of fumbles. It was just the problem is that Avery Johnson is your captain. He is the man that is supposed to, take you to the promised land. And we basically kicked out Will Howard for this guy. We put all of our chips in the Avery basket. Why are we not letting him loose? Like, let him loose. Let him play the game. Like, why are we turning him into a pocket passer? I don't understand. If he is as fast as we know he is, and he is as athletic, he's probably one of the fastest college quarterbacks in the country. Go look at his 40 if you think I'm lying. He is insane. He is so insanely quick, but we don't utilize him in the way that we ought to.
So let me ask you this question. Do you think he played bad, or do you just feel like they didn't call the right plays for him? Because he still ended up with, almost 300 total yards and 3 touchdowns.
He played well. You can tell that he obviously worked on his pass game off season. And I think we can now, shut the naysayers up about, oh, can he throw the long ball? can he be a consistent passer? Look, you guys rant and rave about Rocco Becht, about his passing game. He got outplayed in the air against Avery Johnson.
Almost 100 more yards by Avery.
Yeah, Avery crushed
and a better completion percentage.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, can we stop talking about how Avery can't throw the ball now so that he can worry about his running game? Because that is where when we talk about dual threat, he is truly a running quarterback, and we just need to use him that way, but we just don't. There were several times in the game, Steve, to answer your question before I go on, I don't think he played bad. I think he played okay. And yes, I do believe that the coaching is not using Avery the correct way. I believe our coaching staff is trying to make Avery somebody into who he's not. And if we had Colin Klein, this would not be this would never be a conversation, because Colin Klein would not be using Avery this way. He'd be like, oh, this guy looks like me back in 2012. I'm going to use him like that. In fact, I think he's even more athletic than I was, because Colin Klein had the size, but he didn't have quite the athleticism that Avery Johnson. He was a tough dude.
Or the raw talent, let's be honest. He just is more talented than Colin Klein was. It's just Colin Klein was a gamer and he was tough, like you said, dude.
Yeah, he was a tough SOB, man. I mean, he wanted to win. He put the team on his back. Actually, Colin Klein and Rocco Becht kind of have the similar kind of mindset. I feel like they play the same way. They're like, they're gamers,
I was just about to say that, dude. Like, Iowa State has turned into K-State. I mean, they had less total yards, worse on third down in K-State. I mean, they only had one penalty the whole freaking game. K-State had 6. They won the time of possession battle. I mean, Iowa State has literally turned into K-State, man, and it's really frustrating to watch. K-State had 70 more yards. We'll get to the stats here in a little bit. Man, is it time to panic? You didn't answer that. Is it time to panic if you're K-State? Because I feel like we're only one game into the season. There's a lot of games left. There's zero margin for error the rest of the season. I feel like now is the time to reevaluate, and I do feel like I understand people that are starting to panic.
Look, I don't think it's time to panic, but it's definitely this is a massive disappointment. You can't come into the season as the favorite to win the whole thing and start it off with a loss, and the way that you lost, making all these mistakes, not utilizing your best player, losing your number one running back. I mean, it was like one right after the other, and it's not time to panic, but I do agree we need to reevaluate this team, and maybe we overhyped them, man. We definitely overhyped them. I am definitely guilty for coming in thinking that this team was just going to roll over most teams. I hate to say this, Steve. I think we're looking at another 8-win season.
I 100% agree. This feels like another 8-win season. I mean, if you look at the schedule, I think Iowa State's got the inside track to get to Arlington. They have one of the easiest schedules remaining after they beat K-State. Yeah. And honestly, they should have beaten K-State by 2 to 3 scores had they not fumbled inside the 5-yard line, had they decided to actually try to score a touchdown at the end of the game. I mean, they really could have opened that game up. K-State had opportunities too. They got to the 7-yard line and didn't score. I mean, going forward on 4th and 1 at your own 30, I don't know what the hell Chris Kleiman was thinking. I mean, there was 8 minutes left. Like, I feel like going for it there.
I think the defense was just worn out. The defense
was worn down. I mean, it was only 24. No, it was 17-14 at that point. It was only 17-14 with 8 minutes left in the game. Like, that was a nail on the coffin. You don't get there. They score a touchdown right away, and now you're down 2 scores. You're playing catch up, dude. Like, that was a horrible decision. I had no problem with the other two. I mean, you're in no man's land at the 33-yard line. Like, go for it. I totally get that. At the 7, I felt like they should have kicked it because they stole a possession there after a fumble. Like, kick that field goal, take the lead, because at that point it was 7-7. Get something out of that possession. But I also understand going for it because you're at the 7-yard line. You just need 1 yard. I don't know, man. It's really frustrating. I'm really pissed off. We need to reevaluate because, I mean, K-State still has games at Baylor, at Utah, at Oklahoma State, at KU. You got Texas Tech at home, TCU at home. I mean, it's just not. I mean, this was supposed to be not even one of the tougher games.
No, yeah, that we were supposed to be able to win this game, not by a lot, but we were supposed to come in, get a really solid win going into the non-con. It's hard to even be hype about the non-con. We've
It's
got a
hard to be hyped
game
for
at
the rest of the
home.
season. It's not even
Yeah,
September. I mean, you lose that game. This was worst case scenario. You give up a home game and you're playing it now 1 week early in Ireland. All your fans have to go out there to go to the game, and then you lose. Now no one is as excited as they were had you just had a home game later in the season. Like this was definitely worst case scenario, man.
yeah. Worst case scenario for the holistic view of this program. And with Iowa State, you said it, man. The rest of their season is a cakewalk. I mean, they have literally the easiest road to get to back to Arlington again. And here's the thing: this is what makes me even the most upset about this whole deal is like the margins for error when it comes to this conference are razor thin. They
Mm-hmm.
are razor thin. And with you saying, Chris Kleiman didn't circle this game bold enough, I think you're right. And here's the problem: you have to make every conference game matter at the utmost, like the biggest game ever, because you said four teams tied for 7-2 last year and only two got to go in. And we just lost to a team that could potentially just make it right back there. And if it comes down to K-State not getting to Arlington, if we win the rest of our games or whatever, and then, or maybe lose one or win the rest, and it comes down to just one team that gets in, either Iowa State or K-State, it's going to go to Iowa State because we lost
Yep.
this game.
I mean,
And
you are basically saying Iowa State has to lose 3 times if K State loses just one more game because they already won the head to head. Like that's not likely, man. Like if you look at their schedule, Iowa State's schedule is pretty easy compared to K State's. Did frustrating.
I gotta give it to Desert Devil here. There's nothing that cheeseburgers and ranch dressing can't fix. We're talking about how sad we are. You're right, Desert Devil. Cheeseburgers and ranch dressing definitely solves a lot of my emotional problems. I am an emotional eater, so
We did
you're
have
right.
some cheeseburgers on Friday night. I'm not gonna lie, we did. And then we had a
We
waffle
did.
bar. Shout out Steven with the PH for having us over and letting us eat there. That was
We had
awesome.
we had barbecue cheddar burgers to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate my anniversary.
And
We had a lot of friends
jalapeno
over.
popper crab rangoons.
That's right.
They were
That was
amazing.
good. That
They were
was good.
amazing.
All right. All right, okay, Steve. Like I know you've got some graphics. I know you want to take us somewhere here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go over to the stats. Here are the game stats. I'm going to try to post the full game stats to our Facebook page. But you can see right here, I mean, Kenny was texting me after the game saying this, like, K-State won almost every single thing across the board. Total yards, better on third down. I mean, they weren't good on fourth down. They had too many penalties, and they could not get off the field at the end of the game. You see, Iowa State did end up with 6 more first downs, and I feel like almost all of those were on that final drive, man. They converted every single third and fourth down. Like the third down conversions that they didn't get, they just got them on fourth down. So really, they were like 6 for 14 on third down because they ended up going for it on fourth down. Avery Johnson, 273 yards passing, 21 to 30, with multiple drops, by the way. Drops are still a major problem for K-State. 2 touchdowns passing, 21 rushing yards, another rushing touchdown. Joe Jackson, 51 rushing yards, but giving up 71 to Carson Hansen, dude, and most of that on a final drive. Really frustrating. Jace Brown, 78 receiving yards on 4 catches, 1 touchdown. He could have had another couple catches as well. He dropped a couple catches. Jaron Bradley dropped a couple. Jaron Tibbs dropped 1. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Here's
yeah.
the stats. Give me your thoughts on the stats, Kenny.
I think Lofton dropped 1. I'm pretty sure Jace dropped 1. There's lots of drops. It was a bad weather game, of course. The ball never lands on the side of K-State with these bad weather games. Penalties killed us. I mean, 6 penalties for 48. That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
They're drive killers, man. That's just extra yards you got to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's wild to see that K-State is not the disciplined team here. Time of possession. I mean, that's it's kind of weird because K-State did just, on one play just score a touchdown right when they got the ball. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's kind of one of those things here. But one of the stats that it's not really shown here is like the defensive stats.
Yep.
Um, and the secondary, while it was not as good as we know what we have in the secondary. Disappointed in the way that VJ Payne played. I think he played one of his worst
I
games.
think he played his worst game of his career.
Yeah. But there were moments where our corners had, Rocco Beck literally threw it to the numbers and our corners just could not catch the ball. Those turnovers seem to always happen against K-State, but never for K-State. And that's what I'm getting at constantly. I mean, how there was one where the ball was literally like delivered on a freaking silver platter
And
to our cornerback.
they ended up scoring the game-winning field goal on that drive because he dropped the interception.
He dropped the interception that was literally gift wrapped to him, and then they converted. I think that was a third down play, and then they converted on fourth down, and then they score a freaking field goal. It's little things like that that if it would have if you just catch the ball, and I don't understand why K-State just can't catch the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. There were moments where Iowa State wasn't catching either. I mean, there's quite a few plays where it slipped out of their hands, but when it's literally delivered to you right on the numbers, I mean, it wasn't like he had to stretch forward or anything. He was literally squatted down and like underhanding the ball. It's the same thing that happened with Dylan Edwards, man. It just goes right underneath the
Yep.
arms. And it's like, oh my God, please tighten this up. My goodness, how hard is it to catch a ball when you're getting like, I don't know if they're getting millions of dollars, but when there's millions of dollars poured into this program, can you please just catch a ball? Like, for God's sakes, it's
For real,
insane to
dude.
me.
You're a Division
Like,
One
what is
athlete
going?
getting paid thousands of dollars. Catch the ball, man. Catch the ball.
Stop putting Vaseline on your arms and your hands. Like, we really don't need the. You're playing this game on hard mode. Like,
Here's what
take.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say just take the KY jelly out of the locker room, okay? We don't need it. We don't need to play our game on hard mode.
I will say this: we talked about Rocco Beck being a gamer and winning, and he is, but I mean, he only had 50% completion percentage. He had both of the fumbles. I mean, both of them were his fault, and like to not make Iowa State pay for those is infuriating. Like this almost feels like, this is gonna be a crazy analogy. I know it's gonna be a crazy analogy, but like just looking at the numbers, just looking at the talent difference, in my opinion, this feels like when K-State had Colin Klein, 2011, they were playing Baylor at home, and K-State beats RG3 by 1. Like RG3, I mean, top 5-10 draft pick, right? Had an NFL career, way better athlete, won the Heisman, way better quarterback, had better numbers that day, yet somehow, some way, Colin Klein and K-State still won the game, which I'm sure with way worse numbers. And this feels the same way, man. Like, I don't think Rocco Becht is like an all-world quarterback, but like somehow, some way he did enough to win this game. And it really actually pisses me off, honestly. Like to see his numbers versus Avery Johnson's and to see that he won the game just pisses me off. I mean,
look at what Desert Devil says here. And I think I kind of agree here. It says you don't have less talent. You don't have poor players. You just have horrible coaches. What do you think about that, Steve?
I think it's 50% on the coaches, 50% on the players, because I mean the coaches aren't out there fumbling the opening punt, right? Or dropping interceptions or telling VJ Payne, don't cover a guy, just cover the run when you're clearly a safety and you got to cover the pass. Like, I mean, there were some pretty bad offensive play calls, like specifically the first 2 to 3 drives. Horrible. It got better throughout the game as it started to rain less, but still, man, like I don't understand. Here's what I want to say, and I'm going to take this off real quick, and we're going to go back to stats in a minute. We'll talk about the cat and dog. Someone was talking about this on the K-State message board. Every time Iowa State scored, or every time K-State scored, it was right after Iowa State scored. It feels like K-State was very conservative on offense until they saw Iowa State score, and they're like, okay, now we have to be more assertive. We have to take more chances. Why are we not doing that on every drive? Why are we not like going balls to the wall on every single drive? Why do we have to wait for the other team to score to be aggressive? Like, that makes no sense. Every single time Iowa State scored, or sorry, every single time K-State scored, it was right after Iowa State scored. Like, that makes no sense to me, man. Like, be aggressive on every single offensive snap. I guess they were
Yeah.
consistent on fourth down, though. Very
I
aggressive
think
on fourth down.
I think that this is a Chris Kleiman mentality. It has to be,
It has to be.
because we see it time and time again. They are just they don't they don't push the boundaries, right, until you're kind of playing on the back foot. Because I feel like this is how Chris Kleiman likes to play.
Yep.
He likes to have disciplined guys and be able to establish a run game and then be able to get ahead. And then once you're ahead, then you play this very conservative clock game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're behind, he gets desperate and tries to get it all back and make, we saw a trick play out of nowhere, Steve. Like,
Yep, we did.
And it worked.
For like 30 yards.
It worked. Why can't we do it again? Why is it that like we only do? I said this. I think this is like a complaint that I had years ago. Like, why is it that when we line up for a play and it works, we can't go do it again? Like, are they going to be like, oh, they're going to do this again?
Or
like,
the next time hand it off to Avery and he goes deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what blows my mind is that we do a play that works once, and then we never run it again. And then Iowa State, to close out the game, they literally run the same play over and over and over and over again, and it works every single time.
I was calling out the plays from the couch, dude. I was calling out the plays from the couch like, oh, they shifted just like this last time. They're going to do a quarterback run, and they did the exact same thing. How come I can see it, but the coaches can't, man?
Yeah, you're not even no offense, Steve. You're not a paid coach. You don't get paid to do this for a living, and you're calling out these plays as they're happening in real time. And you're like, how in the world am I able to see this as an average guy, an average fan watching the game? But these coaches that get paid thousands and thousands of dollars to do this for a living are not calling this out. And the players who are on the field, who should also see this, who are also getting paid thousands of dollars, how are they not noticing this either? They do this, they're like not for a living, but they're doing this every single day. Like, all of their time is dedicated to this. We're just putting a few hours a week in.
It doesn't make
watching
sense, man.
Football, and we're able to call this out. It's crazy. Like, but again, to my original point, why can't we use a play that works and then do it again? Like, what? Like, we couldn't do another trick play? There's not another one in there. Why can't we use again? 8 carries for Avery is not enough. There were many times where there was a passing play like that was developing, and there was a wide open space. You're telling me that like Colin Klein would have just like, nope, I gotta commit to this play. I'm gonna throw it. No, he would have been like, oh, screw this. Look at this huge valley I'm gonna run through here. Like, he would have went for it. He would have. At some point, you have to play the game of football, and you just have to be. You have to be able to make these decisions and be like, okay, I know it's a pass play, but I see this wide open lane to run, and I'm going to go get these yards.
Yep.
Like, you just have to make these decisions. And I don't think Avery, for whatever reason, he just isn't confident in his run game. He isn't confident in making these decisions. And I think that is a coach's problem, because why is he not comfortable? Like, he did this when he was in high school.
He ran the ball I
8
was going to say he ran the ball 8 times, and one of those was a sack. So he really only ran the ball 7 times. And you're right. He did it all throughout high school, man.
Where did his confidence go? I mean, why? I get like you want to develop him as a passer, and he probably spent all off season just developing him as a passer. And it shows. Look, I mean, he outthrew Rocco Becht. I mean, he was fired there. But you need to give when it comes to the carries, you lost your number one running back. Let Avery take the brunt of those runs. I mean, at some point your star players have to play like star players. I was saying that all day during the game. I'm like, you have to let your star player play like a star player. And they just keep playing him
And
conservative,
you
man. It
cannot be afraid
pisses
to
me
let
off.
you can't be afraid to get your quarterback hurt. When you do that, that's when you play conservative, and that's when you lose. And that's exactly what happened. Kenny, we've been talking about this for a while. Let's get to the players of the game. You called it out, man. Go ahead with the Cat offensive player of the game.
It's got to go to Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson, despite him not being able to get as many runs off that I would like him to get, he still played one hell of a game. You know, it, I hate saying that, like, just as long as the Cats, play in perfect weather conditions, they're going to be in a great shape to win. You have to be able to play in all conditions. And even though, it was once the rain stopped and the conditions started getting better, Avery started popping off. And again, we've already touched on this a bunch of times. He's definitely improved as a passer. The wide receiver room has definitely improved. I mean, shout out to Gerard Bradley. Uh, Great transfer pick. I mean, he's a perfect wide receiver for us. Did really well in the game. But Avery's got some more weapons to work with, and so uh, we're hoping for a speedy recovery with Dylan Edwards. Man, we both wanted Dylan to be popping off this game,
Yeah, dude.
and he
It.
that's a huge. I mean, he could have been the cat of the game. We'll never
Yep.
know.
Yeah, I
They had to
mean,
pivot their game plan. I mean,
they had to. I will say probably that first drive is when they're like, oh crap, we have to call something different. I don't think they saw freaking Joe Jackson playing 50+ snaps. So it is what it is. But
yeah,
defensively, I'm going to go back to the stats real quick, Kenny. It was your call. It was the right call for the statue. We got to build a statue of this guy because he's always celebrated as a statue. Kenny, who is it?
Tobias and Sami, man, you gotta love his sack celebration. The he does the little statue thing. It's really hilarious. But man, the first half was just a beautiful thing to watch. We criticize the offense a lot, but man, our defense is stout, and it's going to be the front seven is going to be such a brutal, tall task to ask anybody to go against. I'm excited for and K State. Historically, K State was always been like a 3-3, but we had a lot of 4 down. And I
They
think
actually announced it today that they are going to be using a 4-2-5 the rest of the season, and I think it's because they feel like why take off one of their stellar D linemen for another linebacker when the linebacker core is kind of depleted of injuries right now. I mean, K-State got 4 sacks in the game. I mean, K-State's D line was very disruptive. So I think
yeah,
we're going to see that the rest of the season.
yeah. I mean, that's going to be one of those guys. I mean, there was a lot of them, but one of those guys, Tobias and Sami. I mean, just watching him play is like really exciting. It's fun. Every sack that he got, I mean, we were jumping up and down. We rooting for this guy, and we knew he was going to be a big player this year. He was last year for us, and so just copy and paste his performance from last year, and then just add the improvement in the weight room, add the improvement of just getting the reps in,
Yep.
and you've got the workings of a great D end. We were a little bit worried with Brandon Mott leaving. We're like, oh man, like we had a really good pass rusher, graduate, and we don't know what's going to happen here. But no, I think we have a solid defensive line. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's gonna be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
excited.
Well, I don't really want to talk about this game anymore. I I am not looking forward to Saturday as much as I was. I'm sure when I'm actually at the game, I'll be excited for it. Like, how could I not be? It's K-State football. But I'm definitely less excited overall. We're going to come back later this week and talk K-State versus North Dakota. Do our Big 12 picks of the week. All that.
Hey, look at this, Steve. Desert
Sure.
Devil says, consolation for you two. Next year, when K State comes to Tempe, I will supply you with tickets and put you up in the Omni Hotel in downtown.
Let's do
Tempe.
it. Let's do
Let
it.
you see uh, what the show is all about. Dude, I would love to go to Tempe.
Let's make some more money on the YouTube channel to pay for
Yeah,
it.
let's make some more money. We need some more subscribers and views, but that would be a lot of fun to go down to Tempe. I would hope that K-State, when they do play Arizona State at Tempe, I'm hoping it's going to be a like November game. I do not
November
want to
night game.
be, yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to play there like in September. I mean, that would
No,
be
dreadful.
horrible. Yeah, it would be dreadful. Like it'd be so hot. I mean, I would want to go down there when it's like freezing up here in
Yep.
Kansas, you know.
And
So
I've looked at the schedule for next year. It is
because it's
easier.
$150 round trip from Kansas City to Phoenix.
Yep. It is easier schedule next year than this year for sure. But it's still a pretty difficult schedule. I mean, when you got to go to Iowa State, you got to go to Arizona State. I mean, it is.
We're playing
not
Iowa State again? I thought that was
no,
I thought it was done.
2027 will be the last year of that.
Well, you did hear Brandon
Brett Yormark.
Yormark. Yeah, he people are talking to him about keeping
Trying to
this
continue
alive.
it. You're gonna
Trying
have
to
to do it as a
continue it.
non-con man, but I don't see it happening. But anything else you want to say before we get out of here, Ken?
Yeah, I think going forward, I think week 0 games need to be non-con games from now on. I think
agree.
it's too much of a heartbreaker. Obviously, if you're Iowa State, you're like super happy and pumped that you got that out of the way.
Probably thinking you're not going to lose another game the rest of the season.
Yeah. Even if like let's say that I'll say this, even if Iowa State loses to their in-state, it loses the Cyhawk game, I still would take that.
Oh yeah,
because the conference win is just too strong right now.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just these non-con games don't even mean anything anymore because like it's to get to the football playoff, they don't even consider your non-con games as a thing because look what happened with BYU and SMU.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I agree.
they don't consider it. They like, oh well, SMU's got a better conference record.
They
oh,
totally forgot they lost at home to BYU.
Yeah, in the non-con, which that means the non-con doesn't mean crap. So like that to me is just like conference games mean way too much, and week 0 games, especially the Dublin game, needs to be a non-conference game from here on out.
They need to put a dome on that building, man. That was stupid.
And a dome, like come on, guys, it's not that hard. But other than that, man, yeah, this is a brutal game to talk about. I don't think I'll get over it until, I mean, maybe even after the Arizona game because once again,
which
Chris Kleiman does not start 4-0.
Year 7 never started 4-0.
Never started 4-0. Year 7.
2-5 against Iowa State. He's lost his first conference game 4 times in 7 years. 4 times, Kenny.
Yep. And then also the other fun fact is the first team to score. What was it, Steve? The first team to score in this game.
7 consecutive years. Every single time since Chris Kleiman has took over at K-State, whoever scored first won Farmageddon.
Whether it was a field goal or a touchdown, it was that team wins the game, and that still remains to be true.
Yep.
Oh God.
Well,
sorry guys, sorry the energy's low over here, but you have to, give us some grace. We're big K-State fans, and K-State, they put up a stinker, man, and they definitely failed to meet expectations. When you're the favorite to win the whole conference, and then you lay an egg right from the very start, it's gonna put a damper on your team, on your city, on your fan base. KSU Nation is not happy right now. So
nope.
We are sorry for hyping this team up way too much. I mean, this is my fault. My fault for putting too much hype out there, man.
Is 2026 the year of K-State now, or we're just gonna go 8-4 every year?
No, this was the year to put your eggs in the KSU basket. I mean, if we get Avery and Dylan back with
K-State should,
Lincoln Cure,
yeah.
we would do really well next year. But we're losing a lot of guys after this year. I guarantee it. We're gonna lose a lot. We might even lose Avery with the whole controversy that happened. He probably doesn't want to show his face around
I don't
anymore.
even want to talk about that, but that is wild that happened, honestly.
If you guys know, there's a viral video, that's kind of related to Avery Johnson. We won't get into it. He's dealt with enough already. But yeah.
All I know is K-State better never be picked to win the conference again. This is like 3 straight years it's happened, and K-State's pooped the bed every single time, man. I'm tired of being picked first and getting let down, man. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I mean it. Here's to another 8 win season, Steve.
Yep, for sure. Well, that's our post game podcast.
I never apologize.
I'm so tired, dude. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go work out and go for a run, Ken. I'm gonna go for a run if you want to go. You feel like puking again?
I haven't had any tequila.
Perfect.
So I might be up for it. We'll have to see.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Go Big 12 and go Cats, baby.
I'm bleeding purple. Every man a wildcat. Emo. I'm bleeding purple. Every man a wildcat.